friends, welcome back to another episode of All Day I Dream About Food. I'm Carolyn Ketchum, your host, and today we're going to have a little fun with fathead dough. We're making my everything bagel pull-apart bread. Fathead dough really is a remarkable development in keto baking. It can be used in savory applications like pizza or bagels, and it can also be used in sweet recipes like keto pastries and danishes. I myself have come up with a number of variations of fathead dough that make it a little bit sturdier while still keeping that chewy, stretchy quality. I'm going to show you one of those today. The first order of business is to prep our baking pan. I have an 8-inch round metal baking pan, just a cake pan, and I'm going to grease it lightly with a little avocado oil. Then I'm going to put a small ramekin, about a 4-ounce ramekin, in the middle of the pan. And I'm going to grease the sides of that too. This is to make your pull-apart bread a nice round shape and so that it doesn't sink into the center as it bakes. Next, you want to make sure you have some everything bagel seasoning on hand. You can easily make it yourself, and there's a recipe for that right on my blog, but you can also purchase it very easily as well. This one happens to be from Thrive Market because my kids are going through it so fast I just can't keep up. Now we want to whisk together our dry ingredients. So I have here 1 cup of almond flour, and I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of coconut flour. Next, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of whey protein powder. This helps the bread rise, hold its shape, and just be more like real bread. You can also use egg white protein. I am also using a full tablespoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. And we're just going to whisk these all together and break up any clumps so that it's ready to add right away when we get working with the cheese. Now we can melt our cheese. In this bowl, I have 8 ounces of shredded mozzarella. Now, most fathead dough requires you to use pre-shredded cheese, but I have found that this recipe is quite forgiving, so you can actually shred your own mozzarella. What's most important is that you use exactly 8 ounces, so I recommend instead of measuring it by cups, do it by weight on a scale. You can melt the cheese in a microwave or in a pan. I'm just going to pop this into my microwave for 30 seconds at a time, stirring in between until it's nice and melted. Okay, you can see here that my cheese is super melted, it's all stirred together, and we're ready to move on. You want to move a little quickly here, adding things in. And now you're going to take your flour mixture, which you whisked together earlier, and just dump it all in on top. Next, you're going to add 2 large eggs. And you can just put them right on top of the flour because it protects it from the hot cheese. And you're going to add a 1/3 cup of sour cream. A lot of fathead dough uses cream cheese, but I like sour cream for the tenderness it gives the bread. Now you just really want to start working everything in to the melted cheese. You really need a good flexible rubber spatula for this. And you're just going to work it in. It takes a little elbow grease to do it. And you guys were wondering how I got these arm muscles. It's from kneading fathead dough. And what you end up with is a slightly stickier version of most fathead doughs. It doesn't look perfectly uniform. It's a little bit shaggy. That's okay. Now we're going to start rolling it into balls. So we'll take our pan that we prepped earlier, and we need to wet our hands because it's a little sticky. And you're just going to take a little bit of the dough and roll it into about 1-inch balls. They don't have to be perfectly even. And then you'll just place each ball at the bottom of your prepared pan. And because it's so sticky, you're going to have to keep re-wetting your hands as you go along. Okay guys, once you have a nice layer of dough balls covering your pan, you want to brush them with a little melted butter. So I have 2 tablespoons of melted butter here. And then we can sprinkle on some of our everything bagel seasoning. I'd say you need about a tablespoon for this layer. And then you're going to continue rolling the balls and putting them on top of this layer. Try to fill in the gaps as you go. Okay, we've got our second layer on there. So we're going to brush those with a little bit of butter and sprinkle those with some more everything bagel seasoning. And now the keto pull-apart bread is ready for the oven. It goes in at 375 for about 20 to 30 minutes. You're looking for it to be beautiful golden brown and just firm to the touch. Okay, peeps, I just took the pull-apart bread out of the oven. You can see it's a beautiful golden brown. It rose really, really nicely. And now I need to let it cool for about 20 minutes before I can dig in. Now I get a lot of questions about what to serve with this pull-apart bread. Honestly, you can eat it on its own. You can spread it with a tiny bit of cream cheese, but I'm going to show you how to make a quick Boursin-style cheese dip for it to just break apart and dip it in. So I have about 4 ounces of softened cream cheese here, and I'm going to add 2 garlic cloves that I've already minced up nicely. We like things pretty garlicky. You can do less or more depending on what you like. And I'm adding about half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning and about half a teaspoon salt. I'm just going to mash these up together. And to make it more of a cream cheese sauce rather than a spread, I'm going to add a little heavy cream. I'm putting about 1 tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons in. And once you've got that all nicely mixed together, give it a little taste and see what you think in terms of the seasonings. That tastes fantastic to me. Now you're ready to serve your keto everything bagel pull-apart bread. You want to loosen the ramekin that you put in the middle, and you can just do that with a knife. Give it a little twist and pull it right out. And now you can use that to put your dip in, or you can grab a clean one if you like. So we'll just pop our dip in the middle. And if you want to make your bread all glistening and gorgeous before you serve it, just brush it with any remaining melted butter. And now you're ready to dig in. Just grab one of the balls, pull it apart. That's why it's called pull-apart bread, and dip it in. That's good stuff. For this fabulous fathead dough recipe and so many more, please check out alldayidreamaboutfood.com. Do I have poppy seeds in my teeth?